When the extraterrestrial system gets flagged for an extra special, extra spatial, who's already married before she's born and supposed to have a very uneventful, let's say, life, in the sense that she's already born into this world wanting and needing the affections of only one man who she always is with, in however immortal Greek gods and goddesses work at Crown Royale, of not always the human flavor. So when my paperwork was sent by light years away and ahead of schedule, notating and reflecting to make sure and ensure that the parties who were going to be forcing the issues or that might become a problem were documented way ahead of schedule with accurate documentation and video conferencing, so that this way the day and the mistakes are never happen. At my level, mistakes never happen. We prepare for no mistakes way ahead of schedule. So there is no reason why, when I arrived, that I was held in captivity in New York without a Royal Crown Office, without a Ministry of Defense and Royal Heraldry and Royal Heritage Office. I'm pretty sure in school, in their local schools in United Kingdom, as well as in the local community, there are offices you go to and you ask who, you know, first of all, they're a lot more into their white heritage, and who you belong to is family. Partnerships go, and where you were starborn in what are you going to grow up to be. They already know all these things ahead of time, and they have a whole office that handles it. Why, when I come to America and I wake up, I'm the goddess? You all knew about it ahead of time. When I was in London in 1989, they were like frightened because they were telling Claudia that the national security jobs are going to be on the rise for actual paper documented PhDs within this lifetime, based on the amount of neglect and harm that everybody was already planning against her cousin, being Nicole Cattaruzza from New York, that was in London at the time for Claudia's PhD graduation that she obtained somewhere in London. Don't ask me the university, I have no idea. I was only like 10. So in 1998, when Nicklaus came to officially ask for my hand in marriage, I don't understand why I couldn't just travel back with him wherever he was going and start our life immediately. Why I had to continue going to university on a paper degree that I'm not giving credence to. I needed a public platform so he could come get me, and we got it. And then as soon as he left, all the time and the grafting and whatnot, twisting of like my head science, the intuition science around me was so painful. But you've been doing that to me a lot while I've been human, and you've been testing out equipment. I don't know, is this the Hadron Kaleidoscope, like the I'm Concerned project for CERN, CERN, that I never approved, but somehow there's an E Cattaruzza that's on a mathematical mathematics paper that's associated and on file with them? I know I didn't approve it. I know I went to there and I had meetings with them in not my worst for wear, but my better looking immortal self. And I said to the flocks of people walking up and down, I said, you know that Shiva is alive, correct? And he said something along the lines of, I've heard through the grapevine that you are she. And I said, well, then you'd be correct. Why is it exactly that this facility was opened? Don't you know that every one of you scientists that took the candy and took the bait of the forbidden immortal sciences are going to get murdered in massive quantities. Why would you do that? And then blame the gods and blame the governance and the police department for rounding you all up and killing you all. I understand that the unbeknownst people don't know any better, but your home countries do. Because you were denied access to this kind of science and teaching back in your home patriotized continent or countries. And then you were solicited by the candy people, the candy man we called it, CANDYMAN, who came out of corporate greasy territory due to another dispute, and then signed you guys up under their whatever, as if they were going to protect you somehow. All you are is cattle on a sheet. Cattle, CATTLE, all going to die in massive quantities for forcing and learning God's sciences and building a machine that humans are not allowed to have. So why would you take such a job? Right, once in a lifetime opportunity. Yes, it is a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it is the last time you'll ever live on this earth or anywhere else ever again. I think in your documents and the Brahma, we were very clear. I am she, I'm one and the same. I am the destroyer of people like you that take the candy from the candy man and can't say no. I'm also the giver of life and wonderful things to the people that said no and have been hurt, as have I, waiting on assholes like you that took the candy and then beat us over the head with the candy bag, thinking that you were more important than the rest of us, and especially over the God. Great. So now that we're clear on how I work, I want to know when the City of New York Office of the City Clerk Marriage License Bureau mailed me, living in the brick house that Anthony Cattaruzza bought and brought Lewis to. There is a letter P, letter H. There's a capitulate P and a capitulate H, capital, of both, inside the address. Now, this is not standard practice when you take a license or an application. This is a flag, F-L-A-G. I put a box around it. I also, on one copy, which is exactly the same, I wrote, "What does PH," and I boxed that in, mean? This was not an approved marriage, meaning the Jason Romer and Nicole Romer. I said, why was a PH added by the City of New York, Office of the City Clerk, Marriage License Bureau, question mark. I said, do they flag everyone's illegal marriages or just the ones where humans privately arrange an illegal sale of a human goddess, NYX? Those are my initials, NYX in a box, goddess Nyx. That's my Greek, G-R-E-E-K and G-R-E-E-C-O for Mount Olympus, M-O-U-N-T-O-L-Y-M-P-U-S. I said the sale of a human goddess NYX, Nyx, that already belonged to Niklaus Hitler as God Zeus for Mount Olympus. That's who we are. I have many goddess names depending on the placemat that if the map is flat, like a sheet of paper, there are many names on the map. There's many empires, there's many kingdoms. I am in charge of umpiring and the safety of humanity of all, whether it be in this life or in another life. I never go away. Do you understand? So, and if you force me into a situation, which some of you have, then the world descends into chaos and mayhem, and that is an illegal charge. That's a legal charge, all of its own, at a special Mount Olympus-like cascading effects like no other. It's mass mutilation and mass hemorrhaging of massive required deaths of all of the scientists that partook and hurt all of the other people along the way to get what they wanted, whether it be financing or whether it be learned science or whether it be equipment that they don't deserve or they were denied access to by the gods from Mount Olympus in order to speed up the self-defecation and the dangerous part that they knew about going in. On this address, there's a PH already typed in. That is not standard. On Jason's home address, there's also a PH. That's not standard. On anybody else's address, that is a pre-formed something happened. I did not approve this. I said if this happens, there are serious consequences. There are to be serious deaths. There are to be serious collapses of economies. There are serious collapses of defense contractors, such as, I don't know, I heard there's one called Veritas, Veritas. I don't know any of the other ones' names. Somebody apparently under Pam, P-A-M, came and handed only Anthony the business card as a private asset manager, which Anthony didn't know what it was. It says that it was an appraiser. He just assumed he was real estate, low level like this. He has no fucking clue. He's a head case. And so there's two, and then here's the other one that I did not write on. There's the PH. This is just the exact same copy. And then over here on the address where Jason was coming from, which was his parents' house, there's a PH, and then there's a PH at the bottom. That marriage certificate should have never been. Jason Romer should have never been. Never been in a spot to ask me for my phone number or to even have a conversation with me in real life. For certain. Nicklaus and I were to be brought together and never to part. So who keeps interfering in our very real God partnership and our very real God relationship with each other? And how do they keep sticking me with all the fucking problems and then coming after me and hurting me in the dangerous science ways now that you've given them money, time, and taught the criminals how to hurt and punish the good people of the earth? And the crime fighters are at a loss because they didn't even know such things existed. But when you put a queen in the United Kingdom that is from Mayflower, United Kingdom, that is known to cause massive hemorrhage and massive mayhem, if she's to be seated in Buckingham, that's the only thing that will happen, because her royal responsibility is a working class citizen in New York, America, since her York did not do what they needed to do to keep the borders locked down and all the riffraff out. RIFFRAFFOUT. Once you start making the societies and the cities multicultural and multi-ethnic, then you can't keep count of who's coming and going. And when the gypsies arrive to take over your lands, you will never be able to tell the difference. If you have a homogeneous white society and then Bahama Mama notices that the West Indies just sent over 10 different people looking for jobs and schooling, very easy to report back to Alba in the United Kingdom from Albany with, you gotta get, they just don't know what to do. Why is this happening? And you take care of it like that and then they get deported. Why do you allow them to accumulate? Stupid area human. Right. There's major issues on so many. I don't know why you don't just bite in and start somewhere. For me, I don't give a shit. I'm out of here. I want my Nicklaus, and I want him now.
I'll put up the photo of the PH where the city of New York added a PH into the official records for some reason to alert Mount Olympus that was supposed to move navel orange like that. Not to fucking sit around. And in fact, Naval Orange should have had it like way ahead of time to make sure and make certain it never fucking even happened. Being the fact that I'm front facing and I don't know what's in a file somewhere because they already deciphered my retina, which was also in the file, as to what they were up to elsewhere. Why do I bother helping humans to try to help themselves if they don't fucking move on the intel while it's fresh before it actually happens? Once it becomes stale, now it's just after the fact and I can verify it, but now I've got more issues. Why do you humans just keep doing that? I don't get it. Seems like a stupid way to run the world.